Mr. Bifana, welcome to the Portuguese Collective.
Here we are. It's a pleasure to be
Here we
here.
are.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Mr. Bifana has a name, everybody. His name is Fernando. So you kind of took us by storm this year. I don't know where you came from, but everybody knows you and everyone wants a Bifana from you. So it was only a rite of passage to try to get you to California for Battle of the Bifana this year. So thank you for taking the chance with us.
No, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me. It's gonna be a privilege, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I can't wait to celebrate Portuguese cuisine, Portuguese traditions, Portuguese music with all you guys. I was already aware of the Portuguese community in California about 10 years ago. I was on a around the world trip hitchhiking journey with two friends, and I had one of my favorite moments of the trip was when we're out of Santa Barbara. We're gonna start hitchhiking all the way from Santa Barbara up to Alaska, and we went to an AT&T store. And at the time, like I was looking at I'm a big Benfica fan, and the fixtures Benfica was playing quarterfinals, Champions League quarterfinal game against Bayern Munich at the time, and I knew that there was a Benfica house in San Jose. So I hadn't heard a word of Portuguese in like months, other than my two friends, of course. And I remember we're in an AT&T store. I call the Benfica house. I speak in English, and I'm like, "Good afternoon," and all I hear from the other side is "Boa tarde." Yeah, and, oh my god, this is perfect. Then I ask, "Are you guys open tomorrow for the game?" He said, "Estamos abertos e temos polvo alagareiro." I was like, "Oh my god, no! This is like nothing beats this. This is the best.
I got goosebumps.
The best thing this is literally the best thing that could have happened to my life." So we went to the Benfica house in San Jose to watch the game, and I had the opportunity to meet up with the Portuguese community there. So I'm very much looking forward to be back in San Jose and spend the day with you guys there.
How funny. We know Casa de Benfica very well. They have an amazing kitchen in there. They cook really, really good food, and they throw some good parties. So yeah, you were in good hands. That was a good spot to pick.
That it was good. It was it was hilarious. And like by the end of the game, so Benfica didn't win, but it was like a very prestigious game actually. And I was just me and one of my other friends, because the other supports Sporting, so he didn't want to come to watch the game with us too. And by the end of the game, everyone at the Casa do Benfica was like, "You guys should stay with us. We invite you to our place. We're gonna have lunch together, dinner together, and everything." But sadly, we had to carry on our journey to Alaska. But the memories,
that's
the
such a
memories
cool
remain.
story.
So it was fantastic.
That's amazing. So you'll be coming back to California. You're going to see how we festa now, not just how we have, watch soccer games. So it's an experience. I don't know what it is about the Californians at festas. We love to dance. We dance like we're dancing with the stars. So
Awesome.
You'll see the dance floor packed. Everyone dances very well. So that's my favorite part, is seeing how seriously people take it on the dance floor. But we love our dancing festas. So we have you coming to do 200 Bifanas, a limited amount, a little tease. So if you guys want to try Mr. Bifana's famous Bifanas, then make sure you are there pretty much around open ceremonies, because he's going to start cooking at noon.
About noon or 1 p.m.
What do you feel like makes your Bifana so different than the traditional Bifana?
No, I think that's like, it's the ultimate traditional. I would say there's there's like no secret, there's no magic, there's no other than just follow the recipes that have made Portuguese traditional cuisine the best in the world for me, the way I see it. In terms of like traditional cuisine, in terms of daily meals, we are the best.
What makes your Bifana? I know that you cook more traditional style. You said it's basically your traditional. There's no secret to it. Why do you think it's gotten so crazy? Is it the layer of you bringing it to the US and them not really being familiar with this?
I think so. Obviously, the Bifana that I do is the ultimate traditional. As I said, it's literally following the recipes that, the flavors that make Portuguese traditional cuisine the best.
Fernando, you kind of made everyone go crazy during the World Cup. You came to New York and you decided, I'm going to bring the Bifanas to New York. I know I've seen a lot of your clips. I know a lot of people have kind of heard some of your story, but it seems like you're a guy on the run, man.
No, yeah, I think
like
so.
Hitchhiking, bringing the Bifanas to the US.
No, yeah, it's been a fun journey with regards to the Bifanas. The goal from the beginning was always the same, to bring something that truly represents the essence of Portuguese traditional cuisine. There is no adaptations whatsoever. I didn't change a thing. There was no creative process on this bifana. I literally got a traditional bifana that I found in Lisbon. I was inspired by the bifanas do Afonso. It's a popular bifana store in Lisbon. I took it to Solar dos Presuntos. That is, for me, the best restaurant in Lisbon, if not in Portugal, to develop a recipe there that would represent the flavors of Portuguese traditional cuisine. And that's it, period. Made with our olive oil, with our spices, with our wines, obviously our bread, good meat, and that's it. That's literally, and that was the goal from the beginning, to bring something that Americans that had never been to Portugal never tasted before. But at the same time, Portuguese people here in the US, or even if they come from Portugal and try the bifana here, they would grab a bite and says, yeah, this just tastes like home. That was the goal from the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, the World Cup was a great opportunity
Gateway
to
kind of.
kind of like bring in the product and showcase it and make a good like campaign around the Bifanas. The Bifanas are following the national team, as we did in Houston, in Miami, and then after at Timeout Market in New York as part of the Portugal House. So it all aligned perfectly. But I honestly think that what you're gonna get what people get when they get my Bifanas is not the best or the outstanding Bifanas. That's not the goal. It's just something that they taste and this feels like home. That's what I want. That's the
Hmm.
goal. And I think so far the feedback has been really, really good. Hearing people here in the US, the Portuguese community has been absolutely outstanding. Everyone has been super supportive of the project, and it really makes everything worth it. Hearing people say that this tastes like home, this brought me back to Portugal. There's no price for that, and that's the goal of the project. Yeah.
I know we're such prideful people. I recorded yesterday with a friend of mine. And I was saying, well, we got the best soccer player, we have the best food, we have she's like, the best, we're the best. And I said, we are like that because we do deeply feel we have the best of everything. I think everyone should feel that way about their own culture and their own identity. But we just feel it so deeply. Okay, you have all these fun stories about hitchhiking and doing these fun things with your friends. Where did that switch go from doing all those fun things to now you're somewhat of a chef? I know you don't consider yourself a chef, but how did the food switch from doing? Where did you get in the kitchen?
So it was more than like a culinary adventure. It was literally like an entrepreneurial journey, if we want to put it that way. I never worked in kitchens. I have zero culinary background other than cooking for my friends and obviously enjoying Portuguese food when I'm in Portugal or abroad. And I figured it was a time to bring Portuguese traditional cuisine to the US. And to cook Portuguese traditional cuisine, you don't need to be a chef, so to say. I mean, our recipes are made from our grandmas that they've been cooking the same stuff for years and years and years. And those are the best meals you're going to get. So I just learned the recipe with Solar dos Presuntos and brought it here. What motivated me was
Yeah.
essentially two factors. The first, noticing that was no supply of Portuguese traditional cuisine in the US outside of the Portuguese communities. So we have obviously big Portuguese communities. California is one example. Here in New York, where I am, we have a big community in Newark. There's massive communities in all of the whole New England coast, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. So massive communities there where you obviously find Portuguese traditional cuisine. But outside of those communities and sold to the international market, it's very hard to find. So I figured it was a time to do that. Parallel, I noticed how popular Portugal was becoming among American people. And I noticed that by working as a tour guide in Lisbon. I noticed it firsthand when I saw, the number of American people that I would have on my tuk-tuk exploded. It went from being like three customers maybe in the whole summer in 2019. After COVID, it was one American family every day, every day. And not only from New York, like people coming from Wisconsin, from Alabama, from Georgia, from all around the US. So Portugal became the place to be. And I noticed that when these people would come back home to the US, like they had no way to find Portuguese traditional cuisine outside of the Portuguese communities, outside of the Portuguese diaspora. So that was it. Those were the two factors that
Yeah,
really motivated me to bring the project here.
just to share our culture a little bit more. Well, I think you've done a hell of a good job. You're at like 14,000 followers on social media. I think your brand is super recognizable. It's such a great accomplishment for basically the first year. I mean, that we're seeing it. And it is such a lovely thing to see the support in the Portuguese community. That's rooting you on. I think that doesn't come with just what you're doing. I think that comes with who you are. I think you are a very likable person. So when you speak, people want to listen and they want to be a part of it. So I'm sure you get a lot of people who are like, "Where are you going to be next? Can we have your Bifana?" Because we're attracted to you. The Bifanas are going to be good. We can see with the sauce all the way from
Yeah,
here. But I think you have this very amazing aura about you that just wants people to try our food and wants to share our Portuguese culture with people because it does deserve to be shared, you know?
I agree. I agree, and I think it's time that more and more people do the same. Now it's the time to expand Portuguese traditional cuisine. I think it's our best heritage as a country. And you were saying about we always think that we have the best of everything, and I won't say that Portugal is the most beautiful country in the world in terms of nature because I've been to. I mean, we have the Azores that is like crazy beautiful as well. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, Portugal is a beautiful country, but I've been in places like Japan, New Zealand, where the nature is just like absolutely outstanding. I won't say that Portugal is the best place in the world to make business. I won't say that there's a lot of like flaws in Portugal as a country, as we find everywhere. But I will say though, having traveled 100 countries, that Portuguese traditional cuisine is the best in the world when it comes to day-to-day food. I'm not talking about the high-end restaurants. That's a different thing. You'll find great restaurants probably in the best country in Spain, here in the US, France. I'll take that. I'm not arguing on that, but that meal that you get when you walk into like a little hole in the wall and it's just like some random person behind the bar serving you comfort food, we are the number ones. Like there's no other place in the world that serves comfort food with the quality, with the variety, and with the affordability, so to say, on how accessible it is to everyone, as the Portuguese do. So I think that's our best heritage as a country, as a culture, as a society, and it is time to let the world feel a little bit more of it. So that when they go to Portugal, they know that this is the stuff that they should try. They should try the bifanas as they are. They should try the pastéis de nata as they are. They should try all our other dishes. Like I chose the bifana, but like there's countless dishes that we could talk about, countless meals. So there's not only one product.
Mhm.
There's countless. So I think more and more people should feel motivated to put Portuguese traditional cuisine on the map because it has a lot to offer.
Yeah, and I think why restaurants over here have struggled with keeping their doors open with Portuguese cuisine, I do think it's reach. I think there's not enough people knowing that there's Portuguese restaurants because you can't always depend just within your Portuguese community. And I think you've
Not
learned
for
that
real.
too to support this because we are a small country. There isn't actually, there's a many of us, I guess you could say now more of us, but we were a small country. So the reach was really hard to get. But now with social media, we're able to showcase our cuisine so much more. So do you feel like if you didn't have social media, this wouldn't have picked up as much?
Well, yeah, obviously. So we invested a lot in social media during the World Cup. I had the rule I had to put 2 videos every day out there. Just, put the word out as much as possible. And you were right. Like today, everything is different. Even the reach of Portugal is completely different. Like you go to, food pages like Taste Food Atlas, all these like international food social media pages. Like you see them. The other day I saw it like top 10 food regions in the world. And you'd see Trás-os-Montes and Alentejo in the top 10 worldwide. This was unthinkable of 10
I'm a
years ago.
Legenda, sorry, I
Like,
had to.
there you go. No, for me, Alentejo, and I'll say it here, for me, Alentejo is literally the best, is the number one, is like, it's the best food in the world is in Alentejo. Period. That's like
Ah,
that's,
so woohoo!
no, so for me, Alentejo is like, you really, you can't beat Alentejo. It's just ridiculous. The
There
stuff
you
there.
go.
But like now you see pages like these that are renowned worldwide talking about Alentejo, talking about Trás-os-Montes. Like 10 years ago, people thought that Portugal was part of Spain. Now they know of Alentejo, they know of the Trás-os-Montes, they know of Vinho do Dão, they know of Douro Valley, of course, let alone Lisbon and Porto as the biggest cities or the islands. So it changed. Now it's the time to bring Portugal as it is, and people more and more seek authenticity. They more and more seek genuine experiences. So don't be afraid of showing what Portuguese cuisine really is, because people will like it. People will search for it, and they will be happy to get it.
So what did you think about this whole Battle of the Bifanish thing? What did you think when you first came across it?
I saw the name. I was like, no, this is hilarious. This is brilliant. This is just like the best idea.
You know, we have to blame Taylor for that. He has the craziest, most cuckoo ideas that we support 1,000%. And I think we try to find different ways to reach the younger generation, but also bridge the gap between the immigrants and the children of immigrants and things like that.
So I honestly thought it was like fantastic. When I saw that it was in California, I only thought, well, this is maybe too far for me to go. But then we got in touch and we made it
We made
possible.
it
So
happen.
we made it happen. And now being part of that is just like fantastic. So I really can't
You're
wait
gonna
for
have
it. I
so
think it's
much
going to be a
fun.
fantastic day. I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm
I'm
sure
sure.
people are not happy that you're only cooking 200 bifanas, and I know that may seem a lot to people, but there was like one booth that sold 800 last year. So,
Wow. Wow.
but
Wow.
I
Wow.
think
Wow.
yeah, it was insanity. We didn't expect for it to be as big of a turnout as it was, and it was like almost triple the amount than we thought. So by the end, like we were going back to the store and buying meat and everything, but we couldn't even keep up with the footage that we just started hot dogs, hamburgers, hot dog. We got to feed these people. We just
Yeah.
got to feed it. So like we went to the store like 3 times in the night because God forbid Portuguese thing had not have enough food for your Portuguese people. That
No,
would
you
be
can't.
the
No, no,
conversa of
that's
a lifetime.
that's a sin. Yeah, that's a sin. That's a sin. Portuguese festa
Exactly.
must have
So
Portuguese
we
food.
are
There must be food always.
So, I mean, even though it was so successful for for what we're doing this year, it felt like almost like a trial run, you know? We kind of figured out a lot of things that we needed to do differently. And so we went crazy this year. But truly, we have to give it up for Taylor Amarant, who has these crazy ideas in the first place that kind of gets our mind going, okay, I guess we can do something like this. And the concept was that every hall, every house says I make the best bifana. It just every time I sing in a Portuguese conjunto. So at the end of every gig, you know, you get the bifanas linguiça sandwiches, you get a whole thing to take home, right? And every time I get a tijala, these are the best bifanas. These are the best bifanas you're gonna try anywhere. And with Taylor being a comedian traveling everywhere, he's tried so many who say, this is the best Bifana. So our thing was like, time to prove it. Time to prove it. Get your
Bam.
organizations together and show us who makes the best Bifana. And it's been hilarious, but at the end of the day, it's truly the organizations and businesses and stuff. They're making a good money for themselves. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that everybody is taken care of and they profit, and that we can keep all of these businesses and organizations seen. And also, maybe you do like, you know, the IES Bifana and you didn't realize that they had a special Bifana. And now you're going to start going to that hall more because you love their Bifana. So it's really just making sure we keep our culture alive in California, because after COVID, it was really hard to get the younger people out there. And then having an event that's kind of kooky, a little crazy. We got a lot of crazy things going on. A
It's
Rojdos eating
perfect.
contest, the Portuguese American game show in general. So it was a risk that we took. And I have to say my favorite part was looking at the velhinhos and seeing how they would react to certain things that we did, because that I think scares me the most. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Look at him, look at
Yeah,
him, look at me.
that's
There's a guy rapping.
the crowd.
There's a guy rapping. Are they gonna hate us?
No, that's the crowd. That's the if you get those, if you have the approval from the velhinhos, then you're good. Like that's it. You're done.
Exactly.
That's what I did here in Newark as well. The first time when I was trialing for the bifanas here, using the local ingredients and everything, I had a chance to serve it to some like older people here in the community, and they tried it. They said it was good. Okay, fair. If these people say that it's good,
Yeah.
no one else can tell them wrong. So like, if they say it's good, if someone tells me that it's not, going to say, hey, I had the approval from the toughest crowd. Like, with all due respect, like I know I'm doing something well. No, and honestly, like for me, as a Portuguese that has lived in Portugal all my life, I've been noticing it's been like absolutely fantastic to see how Portuguese people here keep our traditions alive. Sometimes even more than what we do back at home, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Much more, much more. I feel a lot of more of like the authenticity of Portugal, being here sometimes in Newark, and going to the place where I go for my arroz de cabidela every Monday. Then sometimes what I feel back home, and today my breakfast was a leite cal, café expresso, uma torrada de pão de forma com aquela fatia do meio, com manteiga, estás a ver? Tipo, pá, that's like, you can't explain it to someone that has never had it, and with a tigelada as a dessert. So like, it doesn't get more Portuguese than this. And like, it's harder and harder to find these places in Lisbon sometimes where I'm from, because it's getting a lot of tourists, obviously. But coming back to our previous conversation, I think now it's the time, even for people back at home, to put these products like out there, to tell the tourists, tell whoever visits us, what's a traditional Portuguese breakfast? It's not a cinnamon roll. It's not a matcha. I'm not saying that these products are bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be sold. That's not what I'm saying. But if someone comes to Portugal, you want to get our breakfast, you get the torrada. Pão de forma, torrada de pão de forma, as it is. Leite cal, café delta, pastel de nata in the end. And that's it. That's how we start our day. And I've been feeling a lot of like Portuguese pride and authenticity here in the US and in Canada, to be honest, to be fair with the massive community in Canada that has been following and supporting the Mr. Bifana as well. They've been absolutely unbelievable.
They're amazing.
No, they are. I mean, I knew about it because I have family in Mississauga. I've been going to Canada since I'm 3 months old. So like, I know, I was aware of the community there, but you feel like the Portugality, so say Portugalidade in these people, sometimes even more than what I feel back home. So for me, being here, like, if someone asks me, do you miss Portugal? Of course I miss Portugal. I miss my family, my friends, our weather. But these little moments of Portuguese routine, I can have them here, and that's priceless. Like, where do I eat in New York?
To say, actually.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Saudade. A gente puxa muito para a nossa cultura because é o saudade, And I think the immigrants get so caught up in, I want it just like how I had it at home. And for me, I lived in Portugal in my home, and then I went to a very like Caucasian upbringing. They didn't even know where Portugal was on a map. And so it was so different to go back home and then when I started bringing friends over, I'm like opening the vanilla. I'm like, I know it looks crazy, but it's so good.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because when we, as child of immigrants here now, a gente quer puxar por coisas mais modernas, and then they're like, no, this is how it's done. Tem que estar assim é como vai as coisas. And you're
That's
like, but
me.
we have to evolve. So what I'm thinking of is like music. We stay so traditional with fado. We stay so traditional with folklore. We stay so traditional with everything that when the Portuguese Americans come in and we try to do something a little different, they're like, no, 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 no. And so it's hard for them accept change because of that, being very chegado to your country and
that makes sense.
leaving. Like, the História de Imigração was so hard. So the communities here just got tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and started having these organizations and stuff. So it's hard to pull away from that, but it's inevitable for change, because we have to make sure that there's still people at the festas, and the kids now don't speak Portuguese because now they're second, third, fourth generation. So if we don't do something in English, like this publication, I have a digital magazine in English too, like these things in English, then they're never going to be able to.
No, and we're in the US, so it makes total sense if we want to reach like a broad audience, and even like people that are not Portuguese that might come across the show and they want to listen. Like, we got to make sure it's accessible for everyone. So that makes total sense.
So I feel like Portugal has evolved actually so much, like in general, like what you're saying, and maybe not in a way that you love because it's not as authentic, but I think that they've evolved as a country, I think forcefully with the tourism and everything like that. So we're still going to keep it tried and true over here, but
no, big time. And
there is something to say about tradition.
Don't get me wrong. Like I've seen the evolution there. And I benefited from that as a tour guide in Lisbon. Like, I benefited firsthand. Like, that was my job. But what I mean is, like, when I have tourists and the tourists that would do tours with me, like, I would take them to like the really, really, really deep hardcore Portuguese places. And that's the place that they would love. Those were like their favorite memories, was when I would take them to eat ovos verdes, eat arroz de cabidela, to eat mão de vaca, or like really, really root traditional dishes with like an old lady like in the back cooking and serving a pot on the table. That's what they carry back home with them. And it's now the time. I think that obviously there's always space for evolution. And I think, and you said it very well, we got to
Yeah.
make sure that in a way to keep things attractive for a younger, the new generations that are coming up, we need to make sure that we also give them what they want. But I think the big change now is that Portugal became so popular to the point that we shouldn't feel the need to adapt to please anyone. We can now say, this is what Portugal is. This is what made us who we are. So if you want to feel Portugal, this is it. And there's ways of doing it, of
Hmm.
adapting. And I always give this example. There's here in New York a great restaurant. It's called Leitão. The chef is Nuno. Chef Nuno Souza is a great guy, and he sells Portuguese cuisine. What he puts is like he sells his own interpretation of Portuguese cuisine. So he will get traditional Portuguese dishes and serve them his own way, adapted more to a West Village, New York vibe. I go there as a Portuguese. I eat there.
Mm.
It tastes like Portugal. It tastes like home. I absolutely love it. So he proves that it's possible to sell Portugal and our flavors in a New York, like West Village vibe. That's what he's saying. What
Mm.
I also feel on the side, parallel, one thing doesn't mean that the other is not possible. It's just like on the side, I also think that there's enough market now to bring our really grassroots dishes as they are, as I'm doing with the Bifana. And as in the end you are doing with the Battle of the Bifanas, that I'm sure that with more and more people from California going to Portugal, people in LA, people in San Francisco, they're going to be talking about their Portuguese trip and the Bifanas that they had in Lisbon and the Bifanas that they had in Porto. And then they're going to come across
Yeah.
with an event called Battle of the Bifanas. And they're going to be like, this is absolutely crazy. This is the best idea of all time. And they're going to be driving from San Francisco to San Jose. And you're going to be meeting people that said, we came
Yeah.
from San Francisco to San Jose because we went to Portugal. We loved it so much. We saw your event. We wanted to be part of it. I am 100% sure that this is going to happen. If not this summer, next summer in a future edition. I am
Yeah.
100% sure.
Yeah, this festival definitely was something that we wanted to open up to the community outside of the Portuguese community, and I think we are doing a pretty good job at that, and we're gonna have some
Absolutely.
fun. So, are you excited to try the other bifanas?
Of course. I only have to make sure that
Yeah.
I have enough space for everyone. Maybe a couple of super
Well,
bucks
what's fun about the
to wash it down
sampling?
with, like make it easy.
Well, you know what's funny is that Portuguese people are very judgmental. I don't know Sevillas, but we're very judgmental people.
Yeah, of course, of
But
course.
I feel so we had to have a People's Choice Award because we didn't want that person won because eles têm familiares. You know how it goes.
Yeah. No. It's
So
got to
we
be an
wanted,
open.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also have a People's Choice Award. And within that, it's a sampling ticket and you get you get samples. So you don't, it will
Hmm.
equal a Bifana, but you'll get samples. So then you won't get too full.
No, I'll try them all. I'll try
The
them all.
judges are going to be full though. The judges will be full.
Amazing. I'm very much looking forward to
So
it. It's going
do
to be
you get
amazing.
recognized now?
Yeah.
Now that you're in New York?
It's been crazy. So just like now, today, coming here, I was walking in Newark and a guy stopped like his car and he rolled down his windows. Hey, Mr. Bifana, how are you?
Oh, I
Out of
love
nowhere,
that.
it's fantastic. It happened in New York like a couple of times already. I was right, like someone, like he was in his work driving his truck and he stops, he rolls down his window in Manhattan, like in Soho. Mr. Bifana, how are you? Like, this is amazing. Like, this is like feeling this love from the Portuguese community has definitely been the highlight. If I had to name one thing, that's it. It's the love that I've been getting from the Portuguese community. I wasn't counting on it. I don't want to be misinterpreted here. Like, I just didn't know that it was going to turn out this way because my focus was always to target the international market because I wanted to put Portuguese cuisine sold to like everyone outside of the Portuguese diaspora, so to say, because the diaspora already had Portuguese food. But the way people have adhered to the project and showed their support, be it on social media, be it by coming to our events, showing their support and love has been outstanding. And I couldn't be more grateful for that, honestly.
Yeah, I can't wait. It feels like it's going to be a big party with a bunch of friends that we've all known each other for a long time. I know, Fernand, I feel like you're already part of us and stuff. Like, it's just been so easy communicating with you. And we're so excited to have you in California. Our povo over here Like, I think you're the reason, a huge reason why people are going to make sure they're there on time. Portuguese people are never really on time, but they might be for your Bifana.
We've been getting that. We've been getting that. Amazing. I'm so much looking forward to it. It's gonna be great. Absolutely.
So what were your like top three serves, like the people you've served that you kind of were like, I can't believe I'm serving this person.
Okay. So there's two that are obvious, I would say. I'm thinking about, well, I think I was very happy to serve the ambassador of Portugal to the US, honestly. Francisco Duarte Lopes. And
Hmm.
he's like 10 stars as an ambassador. I've had the chance of chatting with him and taking part of an event also at the Portuguese embassy in Washington, D.C. Like, he's super easy to communicate with as well, very accessible. So, you know, a humble thank you to him as well, and to the consul here in New York as well. They've been fantastic with me, so I'll start with them. Then I served the goalkeeper of Cape Verde, Vozinha, here in New York at Time Out Market. So he's like the craziest
I know
superstar of
you're
the
a big
World Cup.
soccer guy, so that must have been
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
crazy.
So the biggest superstar of the World Cup, Vozinha, the Cape Verde goalkeeper, he went to Timeout Market, and I had the chance to serve him my Bifanas as well and make a small video. And obviously, the number one has to be my childhood idol. That's Nuno Gomes, a Portuguese football player as well, and he was my idol growing up. We had the chance of
Yeah.
working together at the campaign for the presidency of Benfica. So I got the chance to meet him and actually get to know him a little bit better, more than an idol on the pitch, which he was when I was young. He became also a reference as someone that, you know, he stays true to their values and works hard to achieve what he wants to achieve. So being able to serve him might be fun and make a moment out of it was really cool. So yeah, I'll say those three.
Awesome.
And
Honestly, from
obviously
the
my
what
parents,
you've
of
done,
course.
is
No,
that,
I forgot. No, no, of course,
oh yeah,
my parents,
yeah.
they came from Lisbon to Time Out Market on purpose to try my Bifana. So obviously I'll have to put them number one. Yeah. Sorry,
Tell us a
Nun
little
Gomes.
bit about
Sorry.
them. Let's give them a
Yeah.
little bit of a shout out.
Yeah,
Have they
yeah, big
supported you
times.
through all of these moments?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, in all my travels, all my traveling, obviously, my mom was always a little bit, you know, coração apertado, as we say
Mhm.
in Portugal, with a tight heart, worrying if I was doing fine or not. My dad was more like easygoing, in a good way, of course. But they've been very supportive ever since I moved here. So I couldn't be more grateful for that as well. And yeah, I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't for their support. So, like, when I say that I came to New York, and what I had when I arrived in New York about like a little bit more than a year ago to launch this project, all I had was my family and friends support from Portugal and a stable financial life in Portugal. That's what I had, which is a lot. Like, I'm not saying that it's not a lot. It is a lot. Like, it's a big thing. It's a big deal. A lot of people don't have this, and I'm very grateful for having it. But materialistically, when I arrived in New York, I had nothing. Like, I didn't have a company. I didn't have a house. I didn't have a place to stay, or like, I didn't have anything. But I had this support, this safety net from back home, which is a lot. So yeah, I couldn't be more grateful for that.
They gave you space to dream, you know, and I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really important, especially with creative people. You know, you're obviously a dreamer and a very creatively driven. So to have that support, because when we do creative things, sometimes you don't see financial profit for a long time. And you're like, is this working? Is this not working? Did I make a mistake? Did I not make a mistake? But if somebody can have a backing of just supporting the dream, it really carries the ambition
Yeah.
forward. You know, so it's great that they did that for you. You're quite an inspiration, I think, for especially
Thank you.
entrepreneurs that are scared to make that jump. You know, you've been doing this and you're, I mean, not to say it offensively at all, but you're no different than anybody else walking down the
No,
street.
no, absolutely. Absolutely.
Anybody
Absolutely.
can have these dreams and do something like this. And like you said, you know, you're showing that you can put Portuguese cuisine on the map anywhere, even though, you know, you're doing it in the US, but you can do this anywhere. And
Yeah.
it's, you don't have to be under to do it. You can be anybody that, you know, is passionate about a prego or whatever, be fun or something, and
And
you can
there have
start
been people
something like this.
doing it here. There have been people doing it here. And I had the chance of, you know, meeting, and a shout out to him as well. For instance, Joey Bats was probably the first one that I know here in New York. Joey Bats was probably the first one that I know here in New York that truly started selling directly to the American crowd. Obviously, he also does Portuguese festas and the Portuguese events, but he was like the first one that I know, of course. I'm not saying he was the first ever, but he was the first one that I know in New York that truly branded it as like targeted to the American crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an inspiration as well for me, seeing him being successful and understanding what he did through his path. And we have a great relationship. And I learned a lot from him. I'm sure he can get to learn some stuff from me as well. So that's how we do it as entrepreneurs. It's not
Yeah,
competition. It's how can we learn and grow together, because there's enough space for everyone.
absolutely.
And obviously, other people that did like the marketing that we've been doing at Mr. Bifana is inspired by other brands that have done similar marketing style. There's a Portuguese, for
Mhm.
instance, an ice cream brand called Sui. They invested a lot in organic marketing, and I figured, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is the kind of marketing I'm doing. And I worked in political campaigns in Portugal, be it for Benfica and also for the presidency of Portugal back home.
Amazing.
So I understood how like you can like put the word out without needing like we were building our political campaign for João Coutinho Figueiredo in Portugal that I worked for the campaign there, and we did an amazing result with. Obviously, we had a great candidate in the sense of like how good he performs on video, but we're doing everything with iPhone cameras. That was it.
Mm-hmm. I
We weren't
know.
like, yeah, we're like just a bunch of young kids like in a room, and we're thinking about ideas of content. Let's record it, put it out there. That's what we're doing. So I
Yeah.
figured that this is exactly the kind of marketing, the kind of branding that I want to bring to Mr. Bifana. And so far, it's been paying off really well, and people have been very supportive. So it's only the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I said in the beginning, you have such a likable energy aura about you.
Thank
And I
you,
think
thank you.
it comes with you just being positive. And I think you believe in yourself too. I think that's half the battle as well. Wherever this takes you, whether it's to the moon with Be Funish or not, I'm so proud of what you've done. You've really helped our community shine a lot, especially in the US, where we try so hard to show our heritage and why it's so amazing.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to take me to the moon, but to California, it's done. At least it's already taken me to California. So that's a big thing.
Exactly. Exactly. So we wanted to get you on here before we get you at to Battle to Be Punished to get for people to get to know your story a little bit more, and that you're coming with your 200 Be Punished. It's limited, so they're out when they're out. So when you get there, try to get in line for that as well. I know it'll be a huge success. I'm really excited for you to enjoy the rest of the day too, and just be able to not be behind working and cooking the whole time, and enjoying what the event has to bring you as well. We'll
I'm
have some
very
fun.
much
We'll
looking
clean you
forward to
all
that part
weekend.
as well. I'm very much looking forward to that part as well.
We'll make sure we have a super box with your name on it.
Brilliant. So that's all I need.
All right, Fernando, I'm going to let you go. We will see you on August 22nd at Battle of the Bifana. Thank you again for your
1 week
time.
from now, I'm going to be landing in California.
Yep.
So here we are.
Let's go. Okay.
Awesome.
Say bye to Mr. Bifana, everybody. We'll see him soon.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.